CIA is still cagey about Oswald mystery. Is the Central Intelligence Agency covering up some dark secret about the assassination of John F. Kennedy? Here's where the Johnny nonsense begins. Probably not, but you would not know it from the CIA's behavior. So off the bat, they're telling you, oh, don't worry, it looks shady, but it's not. We're really going to delve into this article in the upcoming segments. All right, so I'm holding this article here. CIA still cagey about Oswald mystery. It's not a mystery. Let me just stop it right here. In my hand, I hold a memorandum from the director of the Central Intelligence Agency from March 3rd, 1964. And if you'd like to see this memorandum, just type in CIA, Oswald, Prison Planet. All one word, Prison Planet. Ready? We'll do it again, folks, like we're on Sesame Street. CIA, Oswald, Prison Planet. You just type that in, okay? Now, the first thing that's going to come up is confirmed. Oswald was a CIA operative. And in this memorandum, Mr. John McGowan, the director of the Central Intelligence Agency, okay, and this is in a report for the assassination of John Kennedy, openly admits, oh yeah, in 1957 we did train Oswald under the Office of Naval Intelligence. You see, he was a CIA asset, and they used ONI, the Office of Naval Intelligence, to train him. It openly states it right here. Oswald, subject, was trained by this agency under cover of the Office of Naval Intelligence for Soviet, Soviet assignments. So here it is again. The CIA admitted in 1964, through its director, John McGowan, that Oswald was trained as a CIA agent. He got up to the confidential clearance, by the way. This is all, we have the documents. I know when Jones says it, a lot of people are like, he doesn't have I have the document in my hand. Oswald was CIA. Whether you believe he pulled the trigger or not, the man was trained by the Central Intelligence Agency through the Office of Naval Intelligence. Because, again, this is an international intelligence organization that runs things. They love plausible deniability. They love the chase. They love the rat maze where you can't connect the dots, where you can't get to the inner circle of power. That's how they keep these things secret. They give you bits and pieces, and then they give you breadcrumb trails to lead you away from the truth. And that's really what this article is. For 6 years, the agency has fought in federal court to keep secret hundreds of documents from 1963. Folks, we're 46 years away from the event, and there's still hundreds of documents that are kept secret. It's really thousands upon thousands. This is hundreds pertaining to one small subject. The CIA says it's only protecting legitimate secrets, but because of the agency's history of stonewalling assassination inquiries, even researchers with no use for conspiracy thinking question its stance. Again, they just want conspiracy thinking. I have the document in my hand where it says Oswald was trained by the CIA in 57 through the Office of Naval Intelligence. That's conspiracy thinking. You pulled out a document from the Central Intelligence Agency, Jason Bermas, conspiracy thinking. Give me a break. Okay, this the ones that they're trying to get declassified, check this out, involve the curious career of George E. Joanides. I hope I'm saying that right. Joannides. We're going to call him Joanides. The case officer, check this out, who oversaw the dissident Cubans in 1963. In 1978, the agency made Mr. Joanides the liaison to the House Select Committee on Assassinations, but never told the committee of his earlier role. Weird. Now, let me tell you, this role that they divulge here with the Cubans and the dissidents there in 63 is nothing compared to what they reveal later in the article, but they give it less significance. That's how they work with these articles. They'll tell you, well, they want you to look at the Cuban connection, okay? Let me tell you, there's a bigger connection to this Joanides guy. The concealment has fueled suspicion that Mr. Joanides' real assignment was to limit what the House committee could learn about the CIA's activities. Of course that's what he was there for. Are you joking me? He wasn't there to help. He was there to hinder the investigation. The investigation, by the way, led to the fact, and again, you'll see this in Invisible Empire, we have the news clips where they admit, oh yeah, Kennedy, the younger and the older, yeah, both conspiracies. Yeah, totally don't know the truth about them. Oh, Martin Luther King Jr., also a conspiracy. That's what they came up with. And as more documents were getting pulled out there, George Bush, who was the director of the Central Intelligence Agency at the time, said, nope, no more dockies for you, E. We stoppy. No more dockies. Okay? Check it out. Even Gerald Posner, who's the author of the Anti-Conspiracy Case Closed, he's just a total apologist. He won't acknowledge these documents, won't acknowledge any government foreknowledge or involvement. He's, Oswald's a lone nut. I'm the man. Look at me. Even Gerald Posner says this is a perfect example of why nobody trusts the agency. It feeds the conspiracy theorists who say, you're hiding something, Mr. Posner. I mean, they are hiding something. It doesn't fuel anything. It fuels anybody with half a brain that can see that they haven't disclosed all the documents from almost 50 years ago regarding an assassination, that they are hiding something. Okay? The agency is withholding 295 specific documents from the 1960s and 70s while refusing to confirm or deny the existence of many others, saying their release would cause extremely grave damage to national security. National security, it's the end-all, be-all. It's just, hey. Are we off the air, by the way? Are we sure? What? Am I losing it? We're just going, huh? Am I wrong, though? Were we supposed to be? I'm just going. Okay. All right, I'm good. National security. It's their favorite little term. They'll just call national security on anything. They'll classify drills on 9/11. They'll classify what Cheney was doing on 9/11. They'll have Bush and him testify together under no oath whatsoever with no recording devices. National security, no big deal. No biggie. An agency spokesman, Paul, I can't even say it, Gimaglanio from the CIA, the record doesn't support that. Anymore, it supports conspiracy theories, offensive on their face, that the CIA had a hand in President Kennedy's death. Remember, you can't question anything or you're being offensive. Do you understand? You're being offensive if you say, hey, the CIA might be involved. Doesn't matter. Again, if I have the document saying that Oswald was trained by the CIA in 1957. Okay? And then they throw out the excuse, oh, the CIA hid its schemes to kill Fidel Castro, and that came out in the House Select Committee on Intelligence as well, the LSD thing and all that other stuff. His lawsuit has uncovered the central role in overseeing directorate activities of Mr. Janitis. Now check this out. Janitis was the deputy director for psychological warfare at the CIA's Miami station, codenamed JM Wave. So the guy who was handing out all the documents to the House Select Committee was the deputy director for PSYOPs in the CIA's Miami station. This guy's a psychological warfare expert. He worked closely with directorate leaders. Documents show corresponding with them under pseudonyms, paying their travel expenses, and achieving an important degree of control over the group, as a July 1963 agency fitness report put it. So this guy worked all sorts of black ops. He worked all sorts of psychological operations. And he was in charge of getting the documents for the House Select Intelligence Committee to see what they could find out about the assassinations of JFK, RFK, and MLK. He doesn't sound too trustworthy. Dan Hardaway, then a law student working on the committee, recalled Mr. Janitis as a cold fish who firmly limited access to documents. Once Mr. Hardaway remembered, he handed me a thin file and just stood there. I blew up and he said, "This is all you're gonna get, kid." Again, this is New York Times. This isn't Jason Bermas, it's New York Times. There's some golden nuggets in the disinformation piece they put out here. If I'd known of his role in 1963, I would have put Janitis under oath. He would have been a witness, not a facilitator, said Mr. Blakely, a law professor at the University of Notre Dame. How do we know what he didn't give us? And then Posner jumps in. And he's kind of right about this, but not really. See, Posner is one of these guys, and he'll have his cake and eat it too. He says most conspiracy theorists don't understand this, but if there were really a CIA plot, no documents would exist. And there are no documents existing in the CIA that say that they pulled the trigger. Okay? What there are is all these linkages to having agents on the scene there to cover it up, on the scene there to make sure they're the first ones to get the body, on the scene to make sure they clean up the car, on the scene to make sure that the windows are open, on the scene to make sure that he's a patsy, Oswald, that he has a background of communism. That's what they're there for. And there's plenty of documents, just like the one I read, which refutes the official story. Again, Oswald, trained by the CIA. Unbelievable. But, it happened. It is real. So go check it out. CIA is still cagey about Oswald mystery. And then go check out the document from the director of the Central Intelligence Agency, March 3rd, 1964. You type in CIA, Oswald, prisonplanet.com, and you are going to be amazed at what you find.